This is Mr. Zaya, and as you know, I am away today. My son is sick again, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk over some slides today instead of actually doing a mini lesson in person. So here we go. Um, Yesterday, you picked an issue that you really want to write about, an issue that you care about, and an issue that you think the community cares about. So today we're going to think about how we can apply the same writing techniques that we used in narrative writing, but in our journalistic newscast writing. So, the big thing that I want to teach you today is that journalists, just like narrative writers, use action, dialogue, and setting to do a variety of things, including add variety and interest to the stories that they're writing, including to show how the issue is problematic and to help readers feel compassion. Okay? So, I've been thinking about my own writing, and what I would want to be writing about is I want to be writing about issues that students are facing, including things like being lonely. And so I was looking around the school and I was like, okay, I know that loneliness is a feeling that many middle schoolers feel. Where can I find a scene that might show me that? And so I was in the cafeteria and I noticed that there was this one sixth grader sitting alone. He didn't look happy to be alone and he looked lonely. So I jotted down a few details, and now I want to show you how to use the storytelling techniques you've learned to stir up compassion in the reader. So just give me a second, stick with me for a few minutes, watch how I use action, dialogue, or setting details to do this work. So, as I work on the opening scene, you might compare this to how you might do it, okay? So, what would you include to get to the reader to feel compassion? So, let me think. I have a few notes here in my notebook, and um, I really want to picture the scene. And so, this is what I wrote down in my notebook for you. The cafeteria smelled of hamburger meat and grease and somehow old socks. So, what do you think, right? I get that smell in there. I get uh, that kind of setting. Really, I think you can feel that setting, right? But here's the thing, I wrote this and then I said to myself, wait a second, what does this have to do with being lonely? What does this have to do with my actual issue? And my actual issue is, a loneliness that I feel like is around middle school and how we can deal with that, right? And so, yes, this sounds good when I'm writing about the smells and the cafeteria and all that. But maybe it doesn't really get to the heart of what I really want to be writing about. So I rewrote it, and let's see what I came up with next. It was just another lunch period in a middle school cafeteria. Looking around, one saw table after table of bustling conversation. Groups of kids reached across each other, squished in next to each other, except for one table where one boy sat alone. So, if you were with me, I might get you to turn and talk about how this is different and how this fits my topic better, but I think it does. And so, hopefully, what you're seeing here is this idea that you can use action, dialogue, and setting in your writing in a journalistic way, but as long as it is illuminating the issue that you really want to be focusing on. Okay? So, for today's writing, unlike yesterday, I am going to allow you to use your computer, not to necessarily be writing or to be doing research, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to post some links in Google Classroom, including links to the slide and including links to this video. But really, what you're using your computer for is as a reference point for mentor texts, basically just on Google Classroom. Obviously, you can look up a couple things here and there, but the key thing is you're still writing your story, or you're gathering ideas for your news article in your notebook. Okay, so again, for today, same as yesterday, where we're focusing on the issue that we picked, and we're just trying to write as much as we can. We're trying to kind of create this newscast as best we can, or at least a draft of it, okay? And you can use your MacBook as a resource in terms of using Google Classroom and reading some of the mentor text that I put up there. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I will be back tomorrow. Have a great day.